Hi there, Nigel Saunders here. Today we're going to be working on an unusual bonsai, my Ponytail Palm. My Ponytail Palm hasn't been repotted for at least 5 years, so that'll be the first operation to do today here in the bonsai zone. I'm going to repot the Ponytail Palm into this round mica pot. It's about the same height as the old pot, but it's a bigger diameter so the roots will have more room to grow. I'll start by trying to get the tree out of the pot. So here I go. There we go. Lots of roots. And then I'll start combing out the roots. It has lifted a little in the pot, so it must be quite root bound. So it's kind of actually lifting the tree out of the pot, so definitely needed repotting. And it's supposed to rain this afternoon. It's very hot and humid out today. And I do need rain. The water barrels are getting quite empty, so there's the base of the, I guess you'd call it a trunk. It kind of rounds underneath a bit. So we want to plant it up to the height of the maximum diameter, and the rest will be under the soil level. I've turned the tree around to the back and I'm starting to see some rotting at the base of the trunk here, which isn't good. So there's no roots on this side. Yeah, definitely a bit of rotting underneath the base of the tree here. Which is strange because I haven't been overwatering it or anything. But I don't know. That's the way it is. You can see the soil is quite dry under here. Well, maybe in the new pot it'll do better. I don't know. I'm looking at the base here where I said it was rotting, and I don't think it is rot. It's firm there. I think it's like a cork bark type, yeah, some kind of bark on it that's formed, because it's really firm underneath here. So I think it's like this. There's an outer layer of bark here that just kind of peels off. So I don't know what causes that, just old age maybe. But yeah, it was just like a rough bark. Yeah, it's really firm under here. There's no rotting of the actual trunk. I've got the palm all bare rooted. So you can see it now. It's got its rounded bottom. It's got roots pretty well all the way around except for this one area, but I'm sure they'll sprout. There's bumps here, and it's definitely good tissue down there. It was potted in just pure turfus, and since then I've changed my soil formula. I've added perlite to it. If you plant stuff in just pure turfus, you get dry spots in it, and it just doesn't take water. It just stays permanently dry. With the perlite mixed in with the turfus, the water seems to saturate the entire soil. So yeah, so hopefully it'll grow even better in the new soil mix. I'll prepare the pot by placing screens over the drainage holes, like that. Then I'll add a base layer of soil. I'll build up a mound in the center of the pot, and then I can position the tree over top and twist it down to get the right height of the tree in the pot. Before I plant the tree, I am going to prune off the roots that are circling around the bottom of the pot. So, you know, trying to keep my nice radial roots. I was just playing with the squirrel, so my hands are all kind of hacked up from him clawing, running over my hands, and yeah, he's got very sharp nails. So my wrists are kind of all scratched up. But it was fun playing with them. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, the tree's ready for planting. All right, I'll get the tree in the pot now. So positioning it, I'm going to put it to the back so I have a little more landscape room at the front, but not so far to the back that it's crowded. Just off center slightly, so probably about there. So I'm down here at eye level, checking the height of the tree in the pot, and it's a little high right now. So I'm going to give it a twist and try and get it settled down more in the pot. It's still a little high. I may have to dig a bit of a hole for the tree to sit in here. That's about as low as it goes in the pot, so I may have to build a slight mound to get my soil level at the correct height on the trunk of the tree. I'll make sure all my roots are arranged, that they're combed out in a radial pattern. That looks good. And now I can start filling in my soil. I'm going to make sure my tree is nice and vertical as I fill the soil in, so it's not on a tilt or anything, a slant when I have it finally planted. I'm stepping back now, looking at the composition, and I think it's looking good. The tree is vertical. This side of the trunk has more of a gradual slope, so I've moved the tree over to the right more. So this side is a steeper slope on the trunk, so it keeps the tree in balance. It looks good in the pot. So I'll continue filling it in with soil now. I've got the soil all filled in now, and again I'm stepping back, having a look at the composition. And I'm liking the pot. I think it needed a larger pot. The pot is actually maybe a little too big for it at the moment, but it'll certainly grow into that pot. It won't take very long. I'm going to do very little pruning at the top of the trees, so the object of this summer will be to let the trees grow and gain vigor and strength. But I'm happy with it. I'm going to give the tree a water now. Okay, here I go with the water. When the weather is hot, warm, and humid like this, it's always a good time to repot your tropical trees. They have nice temperatures and humidity to recover in, and they should grow really well, and they probably won't skip a beat. This is my second video on the Ponytail Palm. I'll put a link to the Ponytail Palm playlist in the description below. In the last video on this Ponytail Palm, I pruned the foliage back so it wasn't all hanging down like that. And you don't have to do that. If you like the hanging look of the foliage, you can leave it as is. I do want to prune some of the longer shoots. They're hanging down, you know, way below the pot. So I don't want them like touching the surface of the table. So I'm going to prune some of them back a little shorter. Some of these leaves are really long, so I'm going to prune them off shorter. It also makes it easier to get in to water the tree if you don't have all this foliage hanging down. So I'm just going to prune it off here for now, and then I'll come back and refine it. And the ends go a little brown, but not too much from cutting them, but it's quite natural that the ends go brown anyway. You can see this one, it has brown on the end. So we just snip the brown off, and it looks really good. So I've got all the foliage above the lip of the pot now. So next I want to prune it even shorter, these lower ones. So because I want to get the watering can in here, as this tree goes taller, I'll probably let them grow even longer so they hang down from the top of the tree. But because the trunk is so short now, I want to prune them off. And if you want to get fancy, you can prune them to a point so they look more natural. Like that. So here's an example of pruning to a point. I'll just make a cut this way and then one the opposite direction, so it comes to a point at the tip. Another reason you might want to prune the foliage in more compact is that it can take up a lot of space. If you have limited space in a windowsill or on a bench, you may want to prune it back to be more compact. I finished the pruning of the top of the ponytail palm. It's a little more compact now, and it's easier to get in and water. These plants can live for 300 to 400 years, and as they get older, they get a really nice bark texture on them. Some really nice plates and ridges. So something to look forward to in the future is watching the bark get even older looking. I'm going to finish up today's work by cleaning up the top of the tree. There's a lot of dead leaves in here that I'm going to pick out. Debris that's fallen down. A few spider webs in here I want to clean out. The old leaves, you can just pull them off. If you grab the old leaf, pull straight down, it just comes right off. In the future, I may leave the old leaves on. The ponytail palms look kind of nice with the old dried up leaves still on the stems. It gives them a unique look. So that's a possibility for the future. But for now, I'm cleaning them out. That's looking a lot better. It's getting really windy here now. I think the storm's coming. So I think I'll finish this just in time. It's time now for today's update. Today's update is my asparagus fern. As you can see, it's grown like crazy since I last repotted it. The rains are coming, so it's time for me to go. I've got the ponytail palm repotted in a larger pot, and I've got the foliage cleaned up, so now I'll just let it grow for the summer. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for watching. Today here in the Bonsai Zone.